Hello guys, it's a warm welcome back to the channel. You're always welcome, you always know that, and it's very warm indeed. You might ask yourself, why am I stationed outside a 7-Eleven? Well, it's as good a backdrop as anywhere really, isn't it? Look, this video was, let's say, the inspiration for this video, I don't know if I call it inspiration or not, but the thing that sparked this off for me was, I was driving home this morning from picking my son up from school, and I saw a road traffic accident. I didn't see it happen, but I saw the aftermath of a road traffic accident in Bangkok. And the thing about it was, the street it was on was a narrow street, about the size of this. So just enough room for two cars to pass, just enough room. There was a car coming out of a condo building, a Camry, and it obviously had come out and a pickup was coming up the road, because in Thailand we drive on the left, so your man was coming out of the left side, and he came out and he hit the pickup, and there was, I'd say, substantial superficial damage done to each car. One guy's fender and light was gone, and the other guy's fender and light was gone. But the thing about it was that there was a string or a line of traffic stretching for almost 700 meters, and it was building and building and building. It was going to go on, you know, around the corner, blah 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 blah. And what struck me was, the two guys that had the collision, that's a bad start to their day. But because they didn't move their cars, it's a bad start to everybody else's day. And it would be logical to me that if I had an accident like that, where, you know, it goes without saying, no one was injured at all. It was more of a, let's say, a big shunt, more than a shunt. It was damage, but it wasn't, you know, it was a collision. But there was no indication of any major damage, let's say. Just the light and the fender on both sides were gone. But the two bios decided to leave their cars where they were, blocking the one lane of traffic. And nobody, well, what was happening was, when there was a gap in the traffic coming this way, guys would go around them and get through. But basically it wasn't working out that way. It was 8 o'clock in the morning and people were going to work, and the traffic had ground to a halt because of this. And my question is, if this happened where I'm from, would we move the cars out of the way? And the answer is yes. Obviously you would, because it's an inconvenience for you, but you don't want to create an inconvenience for everybody else if you can avoid it, and it can be avoided. And there was plenty of room for the two guys to move their cars off the road. Their cars were drivable, you know. So this isn't the first time I've noticed this in Bangkok, where there's been a minor collision and the people involved don't move their vehicles, and it affects everybody. And the other drivers were waiting patiently. Now, I'm not going to tell you, and you know this yourself, that, excuse me, I was at a restaurant here, cooking something spicy, but you know yourself that drivers in general, wherever you go, can lack patience. It's frustrating to be stuck in traffic, and it brings out the worst in people sometimes, in every country. But the Thais don't seem to be affected by being delayed like that. There's other aspects of Thai driving that drive you crazy, where they don't have patience and they're always in a hurry to cut in front of you and this, that and the other. But in a case like that where the collision happened, there was no one beeping the horn, there was no one looking out the window, there was no one waving their fist, move out of the way. It was just par for the course. And for me, again, I mentioned things about this in other videos about Thai culture. I think this is an aspect of Thai culture where you've got a problem and it's your priority to attend to that problem, and if it's at the expense of everybody else, so be it. Now, we're not saying that's what they do, but that's what they did here, where they had a problem, they crashed their cars together, and it basically rendered the roadway blocked, and they didn't move their cars, and there was no indication that they were going to. I think they were waiting for either the insurance company. I think when it happened to me, you call the insurance company straight away and they send a guy out on a motorcycle just to make sure. It takes all the details, takes photographs and stuff like that. I don't think any time it happened to me, because there was no serious incident, the police were never involved. So I don't think they were waiting for the cops. They were waiting for the insurance guy. They were waiting for somebody, but they weren't moving their cars. So what do you think? Am I being unreasonable to expect two people to move their cars out of the way after they've had a collision and freeing up the road? I don't think I am. But it doesn't seem to be the case here. That's not what they do. And I said to myself, God, I'm glad I'm not going the other way, because I was dropping my son off to school 10 minutes before that, going that direction. And if I was 10 minutes later, I'd be stuck in that, you see. So there you go. So it's apparent to me that certain aspects, this is my summary on this, certain aspects of Thai culture, and especially driving culture, the Thais demonstrate a complete lack of patience. But there's certain aspects to Thai driving culture, i.e. in the collision, where they demonstrate a lot of patience. And again, I say, and I said in another video earlier, the ambiguity of Thailand. There seems to be, you never know what to get, or you never know what to expect, you never know what you're going to get. And there you go. So let me know what you think. Should they have remained where they were? Now remember, I didn't have my camera with me and I didn't want to take a photo of it because street dogs. But basically, you can imagine two cars like this. It was just fender damage, a fender bender. And in my opinion, they should have moved the cars, but they didn't. And it's not the first time I've seen something like that here. Incidentally, when I had an incident, I'm not going to go over it again, but I had a collision with a motorcycle. I moved my car off the road. As soon as I realised what had happened, I just moved my car off the road so as not to cause an obstruction. But that doesn't seem to be the case for Thais when they have a collision. Let me know what you think. Let me know your experience. I'd be really interested to hear. And guys, if you haven't already done so, click that subscribe button, click the like button, click the share button, and I'll bring you back another wonderful video very soon. Thanks for joining me.